Okay, got her all wired up temporarily. Gonna go in the car here and see if it works. If you're watching this video, it definitely works because I wouldn't upload it otherwise. Oh, I forgot to reconnect the battery. 1 second. Okay, so I have it set. The battery's reconnected now. I have it at 0, 0 and 1 for the gain. If your gain's at 0, it's not gonna work. So make sure it's at least, I think that says 1, yeah. And then 0. This is for the the handbrake toggle. This is the the rev limit that it's always at. So it's at 0. That means 2500. And because it's wired on the 5-pin on the A circuit, the coil pack should work as normally. Alright, so far so good. It starts up, so that means the coil packs are still working. Something. I'm not sure if that's exactly right, so I'm gonna go ahead and double check everything and then go back from there. All right, so I took the RPM signal off of the crank wire and I moved it over here to the X20 plug. So the RPM signal you want on the pin 20 on the X20 plug, it's the black wire. If you look at the back of the plug, it's all numbered, so make sure you get number 20. And so it seems to like that a little better. I have it set again at 2500, so you can see it's working now, although the light's not flashing for some reason. Alright, so now that the car's off, I'll try to explain it a little better with no engine noise in the background. So the RPM signal from the BR, you want to wire into the X20 plug. Now these pins are all numbered on the back side. Just pull this grommet off or pull it back. And then pin 20 is the black cable, and that's your RPM signal. Now for the relay, you want it run like this. So you're not using pin 87. You're using pin 87A. This is a 5-pin relay. 87A allows the ignition power to always run through. Even when the relay isn't powered on or energized, it's always going to run through. So your car is still going to run no matter what. So basically, pin 86 is your just 12-volt switch power wherever you want to get it from. You just used a fuse tap off the glove box power. So the glove box power is just like a simple, or you can use like a cigarette lighter power, or whatever you want. And then 85 is going to be your trigger. So that's the green wire on the BR, not the white wire. The white wire is for wiring into a switch or your handbrake, so that you have some sort of launch control when that's activated. So like a second limiter. So 85 BR trigger, that's that green wire. 30 is your power from the chassis side, so coming in. So it's this the first half of the green wire, so it's getting power from the battery. And then the second half, 87A, is on the coil pack side. So the second half, that's going into this bunch of wires. It's energizing all 6 wires for the individual coil packs. So that's the coil pack side. So you want that on 87, the other side's on 30, the BR trigger, green wire, 85, and then just a 12-volt switch. This is just the power on the relay, so grab whatever source you want. Don't wire it directly to the battery. If you do, make sure it's on at least like a inline fuse or something, or some kind of switch. I just use, like I said, the glove box light off the fuse box using a fuse tap. So yeah, now that I know it's actually working, I can go ahead and take all this apart, put the ECU back in, clean up all this, solder and heat shrink so it has a strong connection. Make sure when you're doing this to use the proper gauge wire as well. Do not wire the BR directly to this. Make sure it's wired to the relay, otherwise those wires are going to melt or your car's not even going to run. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, clean this up, get the BR mounted inside, and then maybe see if this thing will shoot some flames. All right, moment of truth. I'm gonna go for a little test drive and see if this thing still works or not. Tried a small little two-step back there and seems like it's shooting flames fine, so let's see how it drives. Alright, as you can see, it still drives fine, just making sure that the ignition is still okay and it's not cutting out or anything, or the the rev limiter isn't active when it's not on. And yeah, it seems okay so far. Alright, so car is all done, still running normally, no hiccups in the ignition or misfires. Tried driving around a little bit. The new rev limiter seems alright. It is a little aggressive though, especially with the backfires, but I set the gain back down to 1, so it's a little bit more like a normal rev limiter now. Yeah, so I guess that's it. And if you're trying to do this and you have an M52, I know it's a little easier. I saw one guy made a video about it, and it seems like you just need that crank sensor, that 5-volt signal, and then the RPM, so you don't have to do all these ignition things that I was doing. But yeah, so pretty much I forgot to mention, but the reason I did this is because, like most M50 guys, you have to get a chip tune. You can't just do some OBD2 tuning on your computer or whatever. And the chip tunes are usually set too high of a rev limit. So this rev limit is like 73 or 7500 RPM, which is way too high for a stock motor. So I just put this in so I could have it somewhere, like 68 or 7, closer to factory. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. It is pretty straightforward. I hope I covered everything and it works for you. If not, like I said, comment and I'll be sure to help out with whatever questions you might have. Alright, so that's it for this one.